So in the last video we made this database with a single table of data in it, and so now we know what a table looks like and we know how to go into design view and change field types, things like that. But this is not a very user-friendly format. Just entering things into this, it might as well just be a spreadsheet, and Access gives us the opportunity to make nice forms. So we're going to do that. It actually makes life pretty easy. If you go into create, so long as you've got the correct table highlighted and just click the form button, see there's form design, blank form, form wizard, whatever, I find just click the form button and it just gives you this, which is pretty ugly, but it's a decent starting point. It's nice to work with as a starting point, only that. You see down the bottom here I've got some navigation buttons, so I can go from the first record to the second record. We've got a bunch of different views, so I'm going to go to the form view rather than the layout view. It looks pretty much the same, but it's got some of the sort of layout stuff disappeared. That's pretty easy, wasn't it? So let's go and firstly let's go to design view, and it'll ask us to save it. And it didn't, but we're going to save it anyway, so Control S, and we're going to save it as, well, the default name it gives us is the same as the table that we made it from, and that's bad because this isn't a table, it's a form. So at this point I'm going to change it to FRM runs, and that also makes you want to change this title at the top, so running information. We're just trying to make this user friendly, that's what it takes. So what have we got here? We've got these fields which have been laid out. We've got these resizable areas. Header and footer we can talk about another time. We probably won't bother. We're just mostly working here most of the time. We have some slight annoyances. For instance, if I try and resize that field, it resizes all of the fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go Control A to select everything, and then if I right click on here and go to layout and remove layout, and then click and drag, and I can resize just one at a time. That remove layout is a super useful thing to know about. I think I can still resize things together, for instance like that, and it means that I could do things like also pick things up and move them around like this. So it's nice to work on this and put a bit of effort into making this look user-friendly. You know, you're used to looking at a database. You've seen this on many teacher screens. Kmart, they've tried to make it user-friendly and failed miserably. It's absolutely terrible user interface on Kmart. So our aspiration is to do better than they do. So what other things can we do? Well, there's a couple of things we can do, like add buttons. You see up here, there's things that we can add into a form. Some quite nice little things. We can do tabbed browsing, for instance. That's actually really nice if you've got like a whole bunch of related forms. You want them to be easily navigable, and you can put in these option groups and so on. But we're just going to throw in a button or two. So if I click button and then click and drag down here, it will bring up a little wizard. And I'm going to just do a form operation to close the form. Let's keep it simple, shall we? Click the next button, and I'm going to have a picture of an exit doorway or stop sign. I think the exit doorway it looks nicer. Or I could do text as well, so it says close form. I'm going to go with the exit doorway. Next, and I could give it a name. I don't know, life's too short sometimes to fiddle around naming Access form buttons, so I'm going to put that over there. Let's have a look, shall we? Form view, click that button. It asks me if I want to save it, because I hadn't. There we go, that worked, didn't it? Yep. So we do a bunch of that kind of thing. So let's go. These buttons are good. Grouping things is good. Here's the thing. See this ID up here? I've already said a little bit about that. We're going to go into that in more depth. This ID is a unique identifier. So we might have, I actually run to music point several times, probably on different days, but I might do the same run twice in one day, I don't know. So how do I differentiate between two different things which are basically exactly the same? And we see that quite a lot in all kinds of tables of data. Well, this ID is the unique identifier and should never ever change, because we might refer to that elsewhere in the database and so on. But the user can go in here and they can fiddle around with that number, they can change it. So let's stop them from doing that. Let's go into the design view, and this field here, there's a property sheet, and for that field there I can say enabled new. Just that one field. So now if I go into the form view, I can't click in that field and fiddle around with that, which is exactly what I would want. I still want to be able to see that ID. It's like if you go into the Kmart student database, I want to be able to see a student ID. That's an important number to know about, but I should never be able to change a student ID. So same kind of thing happens there as well. Other buttons that we could put on while we're in here. So click the button, do the thing, bring up the form. Often we do record navigation. So here's a thing that I've pointed out those little buttons at the bottom which sort of let you click through the records. They're actually pretty horrible. Let's just cancel and have a look at those again, shall we? Yeah, these little buttons down here are not easy to find, and they're very small targets to click on. You know, it's fine if you've got a decent mouse pointing device, but some people don't. You know, they have other devices that they're trying to access these things. You imagine on a touch screen, if you're trying to touch those and you'd accidentally touch the one next to it, it'd be super annoying. So actually, what I'm going to do is replace these just for fun. So I'm going to go here, delete that button which I've created, and let's throw in a button to do, what was it, form operation, record navigation, go to first record, which I think is the first, no, let's go to next record. So go to next record and previous record. So next record is a picture, that picture there looks nice. Next, yeah, fine, that's good. So I can put that exactly where I want it, and then have the other arrow going the other way over here, and then the entire form, if I click down here, I think give them a proper sheet for the entire form. And somewhere in here, which I'm probably not going to find right now, there is navigation buttons. There, I just found it straight away. No. So what have we got now? I no longer have these horrible little navigation buttons down here, but at least I can click this way. And if I bother to do the second button, I'll be able to click back as well. So that's the kind of thing that you can do to make it more user-friendly and perhaps meet that implication. All right, but that's enough for this video.